In this market update, I'm going to talk about why small companies are more attractive and also why it is not time yet to overweight your portfolio in small company stocks. Hi, Jim Gore from THOR Wealth Management. For some time now, we've been hearing that small company stocks are more attractive than U.S. large company stocks. And that's true, and I'll show that in a minute. However, when you're investing, there's science and then there's art to it. I tell people that it's probably 50-50, maybe a little bit more on the data, maybe 60-40, but there is an art to investing. In other words, when is it time to move money into that space? So if you look at this chart here, this is just looking at the science of it, the data, and you can see that small company stocks, U.S. small company stocks, relative to U.S. large company stocks, is the third cheapest it's been since 1925. So you go back to 1930s, it's been cheaper, or back in 2000. So on a relative basis, U.S. small company stocks are cheaper. However, those that loaded up on small company stocks are not doing too well. They're not feeling that well. Well, if you look at this chart, this is year to date. You can see the S&P 500 equally weighted is up 1.8%, whereas small company Russell 2000 is down close to 5%. So you moving that money based just on the science saying it's cheaper, you've actually did poorer than you would have been if you just kept in the S&P 500. And another way to look at it, that's just looking at the science. Now let's look at the art of investing. Well, one of the things we look at is technicals. And something that you want to have in a trend, on an uptrend, is higher highs. And this is looking at the S&P 500 equally weighted. This is the weekly chart. And you can see the arrows every time that, each arrow that I'm showing you had a higher high in the market. Notice the last two arrows. We are having lower highs. This means a change in direction. And so there's more risk on the downside than there is in the upside because the upside trend has been broken and we have lower highs. Notice on this chart here, it's even more pronounced in the small company space. The lower highs is much lower than the prior high, which means that there's more downside on small company stocks, which makes sense. Understanding how small companies trade, there's a lot less liquidity in it. If I want to sell $10 million worth of Microsoft, that's very easy to sell. If I want to sell $10 million of a $500 million market cap stock, that's 2% of the company. I'm selling that. Well, I've got to find a buyer that's willing to buy it. And what happens is, because on a down market, you'll actually see there's less liquidity in small company stocks. And almost every single day when you're seeing these big moves down, notice the Russell 2000 is down further than the S&P 500 and the Dow. And then that comes down to liquidity. So you want to invest in small company stocks when the market is more in an up cycle than a down cycle. And that goes back to our THORdex. Here at THOR, we are underweight stocks in general, and we are significantly underweight U.S. large company stocks. Our THORdex is right now at 70. That means over the next 10 years, the market should get you about on the S&P 500, 5.5% annual rate of return. That means that the risk is higher. Now, what we're looking for is when this THORdex goes down and we start getting more weighted into equities, we get more toward a target or actually overweight, you'll probably see us move into that small company space, and that will be a good time to do so. But right now, it is not a time to back up the truck on small company stocks, and it all comes down to liquidity and for selling. When people sell the small company stocks, it causes those stocks to draw down much further than large company stocks. There will be time to back up the truck, but it is not time to do so at this time. If you have any questions or concerns, as always, reach out to us at THORwealthmanagement.com or give us a call. Take care and talk to you in a couple weeks. Subscribe to the THOR channel today.